You walk into your team meeting and hear the same story. We are drowning in work. But when you open your eyes and look around, you're left wondering, what on earth are they busy with? It doesn't look like there is much work to do, and yet they are busy with something all day long. The truth is, the team is stuck in a cycle of manual work, repetitive tasks that are eating up hours every day and every week, and costing you customers. Now, in this video, I won't hand you a universal magical recipe to solve all your problems, make you millions, or guarantee you will suddenly feel more confident in bedroom. But I'll help you diagnose the problem of why you or your team works all day without actually getting stuff done. And I'll share how I, together with one of my clients, have fixed that particular issue. If you're new here, I'm Jeff and I'm Customer Relationship Management Consultant. Think of me as a specialist who helps businesses get more out of their customer relationships, whether it's by creating a more efficient sales process, streamlining customer service, or building a culture that keeps clients coming back. Now, a couple of years ago, a good friend of mine who was a client at the time came to me with the problem. He had an office with 8 people who, as he put it, were doing administrative work. Their job was to answer phone calls from prospects, respond to emails, schedule classes, and manage students. This was for a company that sold educational courses. The admin staff would also handle things like sending out schedule changes when needed. Basically, they did everything you would expect when running a training business. But even with all those people working all day, sales were flat. He told me, a month ago we doubled our advertising budget. It wasn't a small budget to begin with, especially for a local company in a small town. I see more leads on our website and more phone calls coming in, but sales haven't changed. My people are busy, but nothing's happening. He said he went into the office and started watching what they were doing, and he genuinely couldn't figure out what was keeping them so busy. So we started to dig into the problem. His first thought was, we need to automate these tasks. Okay, but let's take a look first. Now, I sat at the office pretending I'm working, but I was doing something else. I watched a young lady who was answering calls and scheduling classes. Here's what her workday looked like. The phone would ring, she would answer it, talk to a client, answer their questions, say goodbye, and hang up. I asked her, who was that? She said, oh, just a person interested in a course. I asked, what did you do? She said, well, they had questions about when classes are held, and I answered them. I asked, did you offer them the next step? She said, no, I just answered the question. So I made a note. Incoming call, employee answered the client's questions, but did not offer the next step. There was no attempt to make a sale. I kept watching. As she was typing an email, the phone rang again. She picked up. The exact same thing happened as before. She answered the question and hung up. Then she got up and walked somewhere, returning with some papers. I asked her, what are you doing? She said, I'm going to print a contract for a client. I asked, what about the sales call? She said, well, the person was asking about classes, and I answered all those questions. I said, do they want to buy? She said, yeah, they're a potential client. So I made a second note, another incoming call, all within about 10 minutes. And again, no attempt to sell. I watched her closely and saw she never finished the email. It just sat on her screen while she moved on to something else. I sat there all day taking notes, and meanwhile, my friend was doing exactly the same thing. He was also secretly observing one of the employees just quietly sitting in the office pretending to work while taking notes. When we compared what we saw, it was exact same story. The person was doing everything at once, trying to answer an email, taking a phone call, preparing a contract for a client, and dealing with a sick teacher who needed their class rescheduled. This went all day, every day. What do you think is the efficiency of a person who tries to do everything at once? I don't need you to tell that it's next to zero. So where do you think the problem is in this case? Is that business automation or maybe something else? In most cases, it has nothing to do with automation. Most of the time, it's structure of the work. A structured business is one where everyone knows exactly what to do and people don't multitask. It means you, as a manager, have made deliberate decision to make your employees' lives easier. But where do you even begin to fix a problem like this? By the way, that's why I have created a free CRM strategy audit. This 10-minute quiz will help you pinpoint your biggest bottlenecks across 5 key categories: customer acquisition, the sales process, client retention, technology and data, and team culture. After you complete the audit, you will get a personalized report with immediate actionable steps. It's perfect first step to figuring out exactly where you need to focus. Link in the description below. This is exactly how we started. What's the one action we can take right now that will give us the best, fastest result? We decided to make it so one person would only answer calls from potential clients. To do this, we set up a simple automation. We implemented a CRM system connected with VoIP for the phones. When a person called, the automated system would check if the number was already in the database. If it was, we assumed they were an existing client and routed the call to the main office number. But if the number wasn't in the database, we routed the call directly to the sales team. We set up the simple automation, but the point here isn't just the automation itself, it's something else. All the calls from what we defined as new potential clients started going to one person who did nothing but answer those calls. And what are your guesses we saw? Within 1 week, sales grew. I won't give you exact numbers because I simply don't remember them, but they grew significantly and noticeably compared to the previous period. We simply started seeing more money show up in the bank account. So what is the simplest conclusion we can draw? If one person does one job, their efficiency will be higher. Our next step was to realize that the person answering the phone wasn't always doing it the same way. Sometimes they would ask this question, sometimes a different one. So we hired someone who specialized in sales scripts. This person helped us create a dialogue based on recordings of our most successful phone calls. It was a structured set of questions and standard phrases that the sales employee could learn. This person now had a clear script to follow and knew exactly when to ask the right question and make an attempt for a sale. Hello, my name is so-and-so. How can I help you? I'd like to sign up for a course. Great, what's your name, please? They would ask, are you interested in this course or that one? The client would answer, would you prefer morning, afternoon, or evening classes? The employee would guide the client through a series of questions, and even if the person was just calling for an information, they would automatically be pulled in conversation structure designed to help them make a decision. This is how it should work, and it's not just for sales. We applied the same principle throughout the whole office. We distributed the roles. One person became curator, only responsible for organizing class schedules. Another started dealing with customer requests. I'm simplifying this for a video a lot, but step by step, we deliberately distributed the roles and made it so each person focused on one thing at a time, eliminating the crazy multitasking. Because any kind of multitasking is just lost time. A person loses focus and they cannot get into a flow state. You might be busy all day and feel stressed, but your productivity is incredibly low because you don't have a clear focus on what's important right now. Now, in other words, if you see that you're losing time and working inefficiently, you need to look at your process. You need to understand what's happening and figure out which process will bring you the most value right now. The low-hanging fruit. Start there, systemize and document it. As you go through this systematization, you'll discover a need, a desire to implement a digital tool. If you're dealing with a sales or customer support or any commercial activity, the tool you'll need is likely a CRM or customer relationship management system. This lets you track the sales funnel and all your clients through the different sales stages of their decision-making process. All their contacts and company names, if you work with businesses, will be in one place. If you're looking to optimize internal resources, for example, if you're a manufacturing company and you want to automate procurement, you will need an ERP system or enterprise resource planning. But the first step is always to sit down and figure out what processes you need to systemize. That's it for me today. Let me know in the comments down below what you think and what is that one thing that you are wasting your most time on. And by the way, if you're not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe to my channel to not miss my next video. And on that note, thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.